Hi everybody, Alex Deployer from Expert Forex, and in this video you're going to see an EA turn $5,000 into $1 million. But before we do that, I think it's important that you understand where the 5,000K to 1 million concept comes from. Just over 2 months ago, Expert Forex ran a Forex trading competition. One of the competitors in this competition had an EA which gave him phenomenal results. He could easily trade 5,000 to 1 million, and this created an interest in the 5K to 1 million concept. I then made a video showing $5,000 being traded to well over $1 million using the winner's EA. A few more videos followed explaining the concept in a little bit more detail. What then happened was a group of traders contributed small amounts of money to test the concept of trading $5,000 to 1 million on a live account. Unfortunately, the price feed that this EA relied on was a 4-digit price feed, which was only used by a bunch of scam traders. And that is why the project team consisted of a large number of people who all contributed small amounts to create an account that would be used to test the system. It was then tested, and literally within 3 minutes the broker stole $5,000 out of the account, and luckily the whole event was recorded as shown in the video. The project was then abandoned and what was left of the contributions returned to the contributors. But the concept continues, and we are still working with the winner of the EA to produce an EA that can be traded on a normal type of broker with a 5-digit price feed and normal spreads. So that's where the 5 to 1 million concept comes from. A few years earlier, we had created an EA based on the RSI Envelope concept and coupled with the double in a day concept, and made a video of this trading methodology, and it still is a very popular video. It has had over 86,000 views to date, and it shows the RSI envelope system trading the double in a day concept in conjunction with that. We later realized that the double in a day concept is very restrictive. It has very rigid exit criteria. So we created a new EA with exit criteria that the trader can manage. In other words, the exit criteria is based on top-ups. There were 3 top-ups, and in the double a day, those top-ups had to happen in certain places, and the following stop had to be put into place at certain places, very rigid. With a new one, we've basically given that control over to the trader. The trader can decide how many top-ups they want and where they want to place the trades. So we created another RSI envelope trader that gives that flexibility to the top-ups, and there's the video on your screen showing that particular EA. Now, the problem with the EA is it required a lot of testing, and our development team also needed a holiday after a year of really intense work. So they went off for a 6-week period before we could launch this RSI envelope EA. That was most probably a really good thing, because when they got back, we started getting ready to launch this RSI envelope trader, and we did our normal tests to determine the profitability of this EA, which we already knew was quite high. So one of our testers then said, well, why don't we test this EA for the 5,000K to 1 million K concept? And the results were truly phenomenal. Over a period of 1 year, we could generate $7 million, starting with $5,000, but risking only 3% on the initial trade. So what caused this phenomenal growth was the top-ups. But the trick to this particular one was that normally when we test, we use fixed lot sizing. So in other words, we establish fixed lots to test our EA. In this example, we used risking 3% on the initial trade. Now that's not much to risk, but it made the difference, because instead of using a fixed lot approach, we used a percentage of account approach. So by risking 3% per trade, we were able to grow a $5,000 account to, as you can see on the screen, 7.3 million. But if we look down our test, you'll see that this is no fluke, as these phenomenal results just continue and continue. And they are, in this particular test, it's a very small test, there are over 4,000 examples of results, well over $1 million. So we are quite excited about this, because now we have an EA that can be traded on a normal broker with normal spreads. There are no FIFO implications, because we're always trading in one way and we only really have one major transaction open at the same time. There are no hedging implications. There's no hedging that takes place. It opens the door to a lot of opportunity. Now on your screen is another test that we did, and this was restricted to only 9 months of trading. And as you can see, $5,000 was moved to 1.9 million quite easily, using a nice profit factor. And also, if you look at the results, we used a reasonable spend of 2 pips for the euro. It is one of the most liquid currency that there is. So a lot of traders will experience a much smaller spread in the volatile periods that we trade this particular EA. It also has a 99% quality rating, so the data that we use for this testing is of a very high quality, and the results are therefore a lot more reliable. Now a little bit more information about the testing. The testing was done on a 5-minute time frame, and although it was done over a 9-month period, there were only 280 trades. Now bearing in mind that a trade can consist of a series of 4 trades, there were most probably just over 100 real trades there. So the method of entry is very selective. It uses the RSI overbought and oversold signal plus the envelope, so it's a combined entry technique. So this is really just a progress report to show you that we are coming very close to finding an EA that can be traded reliably on an ordinary broker account using ordinary spreads. It obviously still needs to be proven on a live account, but the fact that only 3% initial risk is required to get the initial transactions going is a very good positive. The fact that we'd used a reasonable spread on a high quality data feed over a 9-month period, which is a nice reliable period for a scalping type EA. Because this is a 5-minute entry type EA, we still regard it as a scalping type of EA. Although the broker will not pick it up as a scalping, it's just an ordinary entry. We do use large stops and large targets, so the broker is less likely to pick it up as a scalping transaction. The other thing is that you don't need to use this aggressive approach of risking a fixed percentage per trade. You can use fixed lot sizes for all your trades. That reduces risk, but the results that we again have found is that the drawdowns are incredibly low using this approach, and the return on risk very, very acceptable. So what we've got here is a really good all-round EA, fantastic in ordinary trading, low risk ordinary trading, and it has the potential of taking your account to very high levels when using the percentage of account basis. So as I said, this is a progress report. I'm just telling you where we are on this road to 5K to 1 million concept. I think we've reached a really good point on that road. It still needs a lot of work. The EA itself will be available for purchase. It is a pretty robust EA, and it has brought us along the road towards getting closer to that 5K to 1 million live trading concept. Okay, to show you this EA in action, I've loaded the 5-minute chart of the euro, which was the one used to do most of the testing that we've done so far. And I'm just going to show you how the EA works. Remember, it only enters trades in at a certain time of day, and there's a sell trade just being entered into. There's the stop for the sell trade, there are the top-up levels, and there's the target. So it's an active trade right now, and it's based on the price going outside of the envelope, plus the RSI being at a certain level. So that sell is now moving on, and let's see how that one goes. As the transactions happen, I'll try and describe them. They are going pretty quickly. It is based on tick data, so and it is the 5-minute chart. So we can see this one's going slightly positive. This technique will have a lot of losses. It will have a few stop outs. There it's now activated the top up, so we've got 3 top ups running. It's brought the sell down, it's brought the stop down and has been stopped out. It has reopened a sell there. As you can see, things are happening quite quickly. We've got to watch what's going on, and it's difficult to say whether that was a complete loss. It does look like there might have been a loss incurred there. This sell over there got stopped out, and in fact a buy was then opened over here when it went outside the envelope, and the RSI was at in an overbought environment. Now, so there are the top-up levels, there's the target level, there's the stop for this particular buy. Let's see how this one goes. So we haven't had a great start, but I think you're getting an idea of how this EA works. There we go. Now we've got some stop-ups that the top-ups that have been activated. You can see the stops been moved right up there. It is going. There's the original entry, and there are the top-up levels, and there's the stop. So let's see how this transaction progresses. Okay, so there's a successful stop transaction. Initial entry, 3 top-ups, and there it is. Now, these top-ups add considerably to the income that you earn on these transactions. There's a new one, and there's a sell that got activated over there. There are the top-up levels, there's the stop, and there's the target. Remember, if we get stopped out, it's only at 3% loss are using this particular technique. So the losses are actually very small if the initial transaction gets stopped out. So now, there we go. It's going positive now. Let's see how this one progresses. As I say, this is just to give you an idea. This is, in fact, the test that took 5,000 to 1.9 million, and so these are the exact transactions that did it. And as you can see, the transactions take a long time. They cannot be regarded as scalping transactions by the broker. So they more in line, although the entries are based on a 5-minute time frame, they are more in line with ordinary trading activity. So now all the top-ups have been activated. The transaction's on its way to the target. This stop has been moved down. As you can see, it's now well below the initial entry, and how this particular one ends up. Okay, there's a successful deal. We've got our initial transaction that went positive and the 3 top-ups. So again, a very large gain experience there. And a new deal, which is the buy, has been activated since then. It's going pretty quickly, and it already has activated all the top-ups, and it's on its way to the target. Target's over there, the stop's down here, and that one happened pretty quickly. And let's just see how it happens. Now, you will see some qualifying times when the price went outside of the envelope. Sometimes that happens at times when the EA is set not to trade. So time of day plays quite a big role in this particular EA. Okay, so there's another successful transaction, initial positive plus the 3 top-ups. And it subsequently actually entered into a sell up there. There are the 3 top-ups, this target level, the entry and initial entry, and then the stop. So there we are. Let's see how this transaction goes. So they do take a long time. There are a couple of hours that have, and that one in fact got stopped out. As you can see, it got stopped out. But remember, that stop out is only 3% of the account, whereas a successful trade can be as high as 60% of the account or higher. So no, is there a transaction open at the moment? Doesn't look like it. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we've got a transaction that's opened. It's a sell. It's there's the stop, there's the target and the top-up levels. Let's see how this one goes. Again, if it gets stopped out, it's only a minor loss. If it is successful, it's a major gain. It was entered into over there. Okay, the 3 top-ups have been, oh, there we are. So we've got the initial entry positive and the 3 top-ups positive over there. No transaction active at the moment. Those 3 lines shouldn't be there, but I think it just remembers some of the levels. There we are. We've just activated a sell, and again, there are there's the stop, the entry, the 3 top-up levels, and the target. So let's see how that goes. Okay, look, oops, what happened there? Okay, so the cells are all active there, and we had a nice successful trade right there. Okay, now the buy has activated. Let's just have a look here. There's the stop, there's the top-up levels, there's the target. The buy is active. Let's see what happens with this one. So there will be, as I said earlier, there will be losses. There will be stop outs where the stop has already been moved, but it did not reach the target, or the transactions have activated top-up transactions, but it never reached the target. This is a buy. It is sailing very close to the stop. As I say again, if we get stopped out, it's not the end of the world. It's only a 3% loss. There we go. There we've got a stop out at 3%, and it has opened another buy. Interestingly enough, at that level, there's the stop, there the top-up levels, and there's the target. Let's see how if there's more success with this particular buy. Topping up really increases the gains that one makes from successful trades, and that's the real reason why this particular technique works so well. Oh, there was a stop out of that particular buy transaction. The Stop was moved up and it was stopped out. A sell in the meantime has activated. There are the top up levels. There's the target and there's the stop, and it's pretty close to the stop. So you don't mind having a couple of stop outs if you're only losing 3% of your account, and if you're making a considerable gain with the successful ones, you don't mind that. Okay, this one looks like it's pretty close to being stopped out. There we go, that got stopped out, and it immediately then also opened a sell. It met the conditions of a sell up there. There are the stop out levels for that sell. There's the stop, there's the entry level, there's the target. Let's see what happens to this particular sell. Okay, I'm not going to show you the whole 9 months of trading that transpired, but I think this is enough to give you an idea of how this EA works. You can see it's activated the top up levels here. It's brought the stop down below the initial entry, and let's see if we can end this session with a positive. There we are, we've got a positive transaction, and there we are. It's opened another sell there. Interesting enough, but that transaction where the 3 top-ups went positive makes quite a lot of gain compared to the stop outs that could occur. Like here we have a potential stop out. There we have, that's a 3% loss. That particular gain could be anything from 60% to 100% gain. Okay, let's stop the trading. I think you've got a good idea of more or less how this works. There are 4 other entry methods that can be used with this EA. Most of them pretty good. So I hope you found this interesting, and please watch future videos for more news on progress that we make in this particular area. From me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.